6, I have contact. Over. Checking dope.
And Buddy's got
39 Alpha 6, I have
like a 122.
6-6, this is 39er Alpha.
black headdress holding 122 millimeters.
Placing the projectile into the hole. Stand by.
Send it. Engage in center mass. We're blown.
I got it.
39. See anything? They got 82.
The film opens with a tense scene featuring a group of soldiers on a reconnaissance mission in a treacherous area known as Hyena Road. During their patrol, they spot a Middle Eastern man carrying a bombshell near the base of a mountain. Recognizing the imminent threat he poses, the soldiers swiftly open fire, killing him instantly. As they await their transport back to base, one soldier named Ryan notices suspicious black patches on the road. His instincts tell him something is off, prompting him to order the convoy to halt. He also instructs the sniper to target each of the black spots. The first 2 patches turn out to be harmless, but when the sniper hits the third one, it detonates, revealing itself as a landmine. Suddenly, enemy combatants emerge from hidden positions, forcing the soldiers to find an alternative escape route. In their hurried retreat, they stumble upon a small village nestled in the desert. Cautiously entering,
We still have contact. We're moving.
0, this is 39.
I'll find another point of interest. Thank you, Mr. Taliban. Assalamu alaikum.
they conduct a thorough search for potential threats and encounter an elderly man who casually discards a grenade. Ryan reports back to base, describing the elder's striking appearance, one blue eye and one brown, and his unsettling demeanor. The captain, Pete, asks Ryan to confirm this observation, which he does. The elder gestures for the soldiers to enter his home, and despite their reservations, Ryan decides to trust him and signals his fellow soldiers to follow. Inside the house, the soldiers take a moment to check their gears and reload their weapons. Just then, children enter with plates of food, adding to the confusion in the room. Tension mounts as they all wait for something to unfold. Suddenly, an explosion rocks the area next to the elder, creating an opening for enemy forces to advance. The elder rushes outside while the soldiers brace themselves for what they believe could be their final moments together, exchanging heartfelt goodbyes. However, when the elder returns and the enemies are nowhere in sight, relief washes over them as they exit the house, still bewildered by the bizarre encounter. Meanwhile, outside, Pete takes a moment to collect his thoughts with a cigarette. The narrative shifts to a meeting between a general and Bashir Dawood Khan, known as BDK, along with his son. BDK is a formidable figure with his own militia, and the general hopes to secure his support for the development of Hyena Road, which is crucial for establishing a supply route into Taliban territory. Initially resistant, BDK and his son eventually agree to back the project, sealing their agreement with a handshake. Afterward, Pete discusses BDK's dubious character with a female soldier before informing her of his departure to Spur. As he travels, Pete reflects on Alexander the Great's historical attempts to conquer Afghanistan, recounting a tale of how Alexander's mother once wrote to him about the impossibility of such an endeavor. In response, Alexander sent her a bag of Afghan soil, which she later realized was hostile even in its essence, an illustration of why her son faced insurmountable challenges in his campaign. Upon concluding his story, Pete arrives in Spur, where Ryan approaches Jen, who is sitting alone and eating quietly. They share a secret romance. Pete approaches Ryan at a nearby table and introduces himself, requesting a moment to speak with Ryan outside. Ryan agrees, and once outside the tent, Pete reveals that he overheard their earlier confrontation with the Taliban. He expresses his awareness of Ryan's relationship with Jen, but rather than chastising him, he offers his congratulations. Pete then explains that the elder's actions during their encounter were rooted in an old tribal custom and asks Ryan for help in identifying this enigmatic elder. That evening, Ryan and Jen share a conversation where Jen candidly states that while they are perfectly suited for one another, they must temporarily put their relationship on hold to protect their military careers. Ryan accepts this wholeheartedly. The next day, a soldier briefs a journalist on the protocols for accompanying troops, emphasizing the importance of respecting local customs, particularly regarding the women in the region. In the following scene, Pete and Ryan, accompanied by a translator, engage with an elder from the same village. They inquire about the other elder but are informed that this elder is the only one present. He cryptically tells them that the person they seek is a ghost, possibly residing in Kandahar city. After this meeting, Pete rushes to see his informant, Haji, known as the cleaner. Haji confirms that the ghost has returned and mentions that his uncle has arranged a meeting for them the following day. Later, Ryan informs his team of his plans for tomorrow but shares troubling news. 2 unknown soldiers have been captured by the Taliban. This revelation sends one of his comrades into a furious outburst, as being taken alive by the Taliban is considered one of the worst fates imaginable. The next day, as Pete, Ryan, and other soldiers wait in the desert before their mission, Pete asks the translator to turn up the music. In an unexpected moment of levity, they all begin to dance as if oblivious to the surrounding turmoil. Following this brief respite, the convoy sets off towards Kandahar. Before reaching their destination, Pete discreetly drops off the cleaner, explaining to Ryan that Haji is one of the bravest and most trustworthy men he knows. Upon arriving at their destination, Pete, Ryan, and the translator enter a house where they finally meet the elder they've been searching for. After exchanging formal introductions, Pete attempts to reward the elder with money for assisting Ryan back in the village. However, the elder declines, believing it unwise to accept money without understanding its true purpose. Pete then speaks of a legendary warrior known as the Lion of the Desert, who has returned to their midst. He gives the elder a calling card for future contact regarding this legendary figure. Once the elder departs, Pete confides in Ryan that this elder is indeed the Lion of the Desert. As they head towards their vehicles, Pete elaborates on why this warrior is referred to as Ghost, recounting how during the Soviet occupation of Afghanistan, this elusive figure seemed impervious to death despite sustaining numerous injuries. As they drive away from the house, Pete turns to Ryan, emphasizing the elder's potential as a crucial ally due to the respect he commands from the Taliban. However, their conversation is abruptly interrupted when the car is engulfed in a violent explosion. Miraculously, everyone inside emerges unscathed, but Pete realizes the urgency of destroying the radio to prevent it from falling into enemy hands. The 3 of them quickly navigate the chaotic streets, dodging enemy fire as hostile forces swarm the rooftops. In a stroke of luck, they soon encounter Haji, the cleaner, who pulls up in a truck. Without hesitation, they leap onto the back, and Haji reveals that he immediately sought them out upon hearing the gunfire. Back at the base, Pete and Ryan share a tense yet exhilarating recount of their near-death experience. Pete expresses his cynical perspective on Afghanistan's future, but Ryan remains hopeful, asserting that even a single bullet can spark significant change. Their discussion concludes on this note of optimism. In the following scene, Pete seeks out Haji once more, perplexed by Ghost's decision to meet with them only to remain silent. He tasks Haji with uncovering the significance of the village and its inhabitants. Haji readily accepts the mission. Later, after gathering crucial information, Haji contacts Pete to reveal that BDK owns the land where the village is situated. Pete instructs him to come to Spur. Meanwhile, Jen visits a doctor due to her absence of menstruation for 6 months. The doctor delivers life-altering news: she is pregnant. Shortly after, Haji arrives at Spur, where Pete, Ryan, and Haji discuss the implications of BDK's ownership of the village land. Pete explains that BDK leases his land to farmers who struggle to pay their debts, including Ghost's son, who is now unable to meet his obligations. This revelation sheds light on Ghost's return. He is there to defend his family's honor. Ryan informs Pete that he has snipers positioned in the area to monitor movements within the region. The scene shifts to Ryan's men preparing their equipment and weapons for deployment at dawn. They take up strategic positions in the mountains overlooking the village, ready to observe any significant developments. Initially, all appears calm until BDK's convoy arrives at the village gate, where they swiftly abduct Ghost's granddaughters. The sniper calls for immediate action against the kidnappers, but Pete cautions restraint, insisting they hold fire until guns are present. The sniper grapples with his moral dilemma but ultimately refrains from pulling the trigger, leaving him frustrated and disillusioned. In the aftermath, Ryan storms out of the communication room, followed closely by Jen. She tries to reason with him about adhering to the chain of command and rules of engagement, but Ryan dismisses her concerns in favor of confronting Pete, who has just exited the facility. Pete warns Ryan that the children may be sold to fulfill BDK's financial demands and emphasizes that their decision not to intervene is strategic. BDK is a vital asset for their operations. They meet with the cleaner, who informs them that Ghost is poised to seek vengeance in accordance with an ancient tribal custom. Pete then shares with Ryan the tumultuous history between Ghost and BDK, rooted in their shared past as soldiers during the conflict against the Soviets. Pete believes that BDK must be eliminated due to his malevolence, but insists that only Ghost can carry out this act, as it would appear to be a personal vendetta rather than a political maneuver. He further explains to Ryan that they will rendezvous with Ghost at a secure location. In the next scene, Ghost receives a phone call that fills him with both anger and sorrow. The narrative shifts to BDK's son, who, after leaving a barber shop, is suddenly seized by unknown assailants. They deliver him directly to Ghost. Shortly after, BDK receives a similarly distressing call. The scene transitions back to Ryan, who is in Jen's room. There, Jen reveals the ultrasound of their baby, prompting Ryan to declare it the most beautiful thing he has ever seen. Jen then asks Ryan if he truly wants to embrace fatherhood, to which he affirmatively responds. Overcome with emotion, Jen cries, having feared Ryan would shy away from responsibility. Meanwhile, Pete meets with the general to discuss BDK's connections to the Taliban. He explains that the protracted construction of Hyena Road is largely due to BDK's financial gains from the ongoing instability in the region. Pete expresses his intention to align with Ghost, and the general agrees, fueled by his disdain for BDK. Later, Pete and the cleaner convene with Ghost in the safe house. Concurrently, Ryan briefs his men on the safe house's layout and the protocols they will implement should a confrontation arise between Ghost and BDK. Inside the safe house, Pete addresses the recent kidnapping incident and presents Ghost with a sum of money as a gesture of goodwill, inviting him to attend the opening ceremony of Hyena Road. Despite Ghost's insistence that he is merely a humble grape farmer and not significant enough to attend, Pete urges him to join. When Ghost inquires about who else will be present, Pete reveals that BDK will also be in attendance. Ghost's expression shifts as he processes this information. Recalling his long-standing knowledge of BDK since childhood, he acknowledges that it would be an honor to participate in the ceremony. With that, their meeting concludes. That night, Ryan finds a secluded spot to meet Jen. He confesses that if they survive this ordeal, he wants to marry her, and Jen joyfully accepts his proposal. They share a passionate kiss filled with longing. Jen then cautions Ryan to stay safe during the upcoming mission, and he reassures her that he will be careful. The following day, the general and his convoy make their way to the opening ceremony. In contrast, Ryan and his men position themselves in the mountains, ensuring they have visibility over both the safe house and the ceremony. This strategic placement allows them to monitor any movements from BDK towards either location. After a brief period of anticipation, they finally spot BDK's convoy approaching on the road. To their surprise, instead of heading to the ceremony, the convoy diverts toward the safe house. Recognizing the potential danger, Pete quickly contacts a department to request assistance in intercepting communications in the area, aiming to listen in on their conversation. Although the initial attempt fails, the department eventually succeeds in hacking into BDK's phone. As BDK arrives at the designated location, Ghost steps out to confront him. With the translator present, Pete and the others listen intently to the tense exchange unfolding before them. Ghost accuses BDK, who was once his student, of showing him disrespect. BDK retorts that Ghost's son has failed to pay rent for the land. After Ghost hands over the money, he demands the return of his granddaughters, but BDK counters with a demand for his own son's return. In a shocking turn of events, Ghost returns only BDK's son's head. Stricken with grief, BDK raises his weapon to shoot Ghost, but Ryan, seeing the threat, prepares to fire back. Despite Pete's urgent pleas for restraint, Ryan takes the shot, instantly killing BDK. As they leave their vantage point, Pete chastises Ryan for disregarding his orders, asserting that Ryan has interfered with Ghost's chance for an honorable resolution. The group then moves toward the village where they find Ghost, only to be ambushed by numerous enemies.
Come from?
How far away are the birds?
Line of break contact! Moving to Great Punt! 6-6, be advised.
In a desperate bid for survival, they become trapped in a house. Realizing this may be their final stand, Ryan calls for an artillery strike on their position. Jen's voice rises in panic as she implores Ryan to reconsider, but he remains resolute. In the face of impending doom, Ryan confides in Ghost that he is about to become a father and offers an apology to Jen. Moments later, the artillery strike devastates their surroundings, claiming all their lives. The film then transitions to a scene where soldiers raid a house filled with children and successfully rescue Ghost's granddaughters. It concludes with a somber funeral ceremony for the fallen soldiers, attended by Pete, Jen, and the general. Meanwhile, Ghost's son stands at a grave with his daughters, mourning their profound loss. Thank you for watching. If you are new, don't forget to subscribe for more recaps, Until next time, have a nice day.